Every day you go out and do your normal things. You go to work or school, you go out and meet up with some friends, you go shopping, you travel, or you may just stay home and do some yard work. However, it's astonishing that no matter where you are or what you're doing, you could almost see someone smoking anywhere. Whether you see a neighbor out smoking, you see a coworker go on a smoke break, or a friend you're out with lights up a cigarette, you can see smokers almost anywhere. It's sad to see that people don't understand what smoking is doing to themselves or others around them. Smoking leads to the diagnosis of many diseases such as cancer or fatty liver disease. They also give off what is known as secondhand smoke, something that affects people who don't smoke, but are around people that do smoke. Smokers see smoking as an escape, and once they start, they usually can't stop. Smoking is an addiction, but there are people who can help others overcome this addiction with several ways and treatments. Smoking seems like it'll prolong a consumer until they die. But what people are discovering more recently is that smoking is a very avoidable way to die. Throughout the entire world, there are close to 50 million people smoking. That may not seem like a lot of people compared to the over 7 billion and growing population, but it's actually a substantial rate. As I previously said, cigarettes don't just affect the people who smoke it, but also affect people around the smokers as well. According to lifeextensions.com, cigarettes and smoking cause roughly 500,000 deaths a year. To put that in relative terms, that's about 1,370 people per day that die from smoking, which is kind of a crazy number. Some people may not be aware of it, but there are more than 7,000 chemicals that are in cigarettes. Many of those chemicals can be very dangerous to one's health and could cause the appearance of many types of diseases. There are about 70 chemicals in cigarettes that can cause cancer. Some of those chemicals include benzene, which is found in gasoline, polonium, and polonium-210, which is radioactive and can be very toxic. Those two chemicals sound bad enough to have in something you are putting in your mouth, but there are many more chemicals used too. Toxic metals such as arsenic, which is used in pesticides, and chromium, which is used in making steel, are also used in cigarettes. There are also some poisonous gases used in cigarettes as well, such as carbon monoxide and ammonia. It's baffling how there are people out there who know about these disgusting and harmful products being used in cigarettes and still deciding to smoke. Previously said before, cigarettes can lead to several types of diseases, or even increase the odds on what types of diseases you can contract from smoking. Lung diseases are a very common disease that both smokers and secondhand smokers, with lung cancer being the leading lung disease. Pneumonia is also another disease that could be at an increased odd to occur, with a study showing that smokers are 5 times more likely to die from pneumonia than non-smokers. Pro-inflammatory effects can also be seen in smokers who have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease as well. Other diseases can occur in various parts of the body as well. Colon cancer and colorectal cancer are common to show up in smokers. Peptic ulcer disease, a painful disease that occurs in the stomach, is at a very increased risk for smokers as well. Smokers, more specifically smoking men, are more likely to have an increase in kidney failure than non-smokers. Now, most people shouldn't smoke regardless, but they still do. However, the people who should steer away from it most are obese people and pregnant women. Smokers already have an elevated risk of developing type 2 diabetes, and being obese smoking gives that person a 4-fold increased risk in developing diabetes compared to an obese person who doesn't smoke. Smoking is found to really raise the already high health risks that are present from obesity and diabetes. Smoking was also said to contribute to weight loss, but it was found that wasn't true at all. Women who smoke while they are pregnant cause many problems for themselves, but also for their child as well. According to CDC.gov, smoking while pregnant could make getting pregnant harder for women and cause women to have miscarriages. These types of problems can make it very hard on the women, both physically and emotionally. Now, if they're lucky enough to get pregnant and still smoke after that, it could cause more problems. Some of those problems could include having the baby way earlier than the due date, or having the baby and it being substantially underweight. Those circumstances may prolong the baby's stay in the hospital and may even cause death. Another problem that may arise when the baby is born is that they could be born with a defect. Cleft lips and cleft palates are two common effects. Secondhand smoke can be deadly as well. What happens is that when one smokes, the cigarette lets out a mixture of chemicals into the surrounding area. It's obvious that something needs to be done about smoking, but not many people are acting fast on it. Sure, there have been a few crackdowns on smoking, such as the ban of smoking in enclosed public places, having designated areas for smokers, and having released information on what sort of life you could live if you smoke. But more things need to be done because the smoking epidemic isn't going to slow down. One thing introduced was the electronic cigarette. It was thought that this device was going to revolutionize smoking, with it leading to a less chance that people would contract these horrible diseases and less likely to get hooked on them. However, a study was taken where, for 30 days, people who were smokers would use electronic cigarettes. The results were quite surprising, as many people reported that they had chest pains, they were experiencing bleeding from their mouths while brushing their teeth, they had noticed sores and ulcers in their mouths, and they had experienced one or more colds. This is a product that could lead smokers in the right direction, but not with results like this. There is some medication that could be taken, such as nicotine gum or nicotine patches, that could help slow down and even stop smoking. Simcoe Muskoka held a contest in 2016 where they challenged young adults to cut down and even quit on smoking. They offered a prize of $2,500 to people who cut out smoking from their lives. There are plenty of ways you could get involved in helping someone quit. Perhaps they smoke because they get bored. What you could do is get them out of the house and go places with them to get their minds off smoking. There are plenty of websites such as lung.org and heart.org that give you steps and procedures to take to quit. Refer those websites to a smoker. There may even be a local group that you could refer someone to help them quit smoking. You can also try and swap out something for cigarettes that one used to smoke. My mom and aunt were both smokers, but have now quit. Now my aunt sucks on lollipops, and my mom sucks on mints instead of smoking. Sure, it may be difficult at first, but you can help someone quit. It may take some time, but it can happen. And it's in your best interest to help someone quit too, because you don't want to see a loved one suffer from the effects of what smoking does.